Hello and welcome to Epsom Health Ltd, UK. In this video, we will be discussing the prevalence of AIDS in Europe and Africa, and why Africa is lagging in the fight against HIV. We will also look at the stigma issues faced by those living with HIV in Africa and how we can work towards eradicating this stigma. Africa has been robbed of its stars, be they footballers, musicians, boxing champions, or the public because of the stigma associated with accessing testing and treatment. No African child should be robbed of their life, only because we Africans are creating that obstacle of stigmatization. So, let's dive right in. When it comes to the prevalence of HIV and AIDS, Europe and Africa are vastly different. In Europe, the prevalence of HIV is low, with an estimated 2.4 million people living with the virus. On the other hand, in Africa, the situation is much worse, with an estimated 25.7 million people living with HIV, which accounts for 2/3 of the global total. When we look at specific countries in Africa, we can see that the prevalence of HIV varies greatly. Countries like South Africa, Swaziland, and Lesotho have some of the highest rates of HIV in the world. But why is Africa lagging in the fight against HIV? HIV is still stigmatized in many African countries, and this can make it difficult for people to access testing and treatment. Many people are afraid to get tested because of the social and economic consequences that can come with a positive diagnosis. However, things are changing, and we are seeing more people living with HIV coming out and speaking about their experiences. Famous people like Magic Johnson, Freddie Mercury, and Elton John have all talked openly about their HIV status, helping to break down the stigma associated with the virus. In addition, the development of better drugs has made living with HIV much more manageable. HIV is no longer the death sentence it once was, and people living with the virus can now live long, healthy lives if they have access to the right treatment. That's why it's so important to encourage openness about HIV, and to encourage people to get tested and access treatment as soon as possible. People who get tested and treated for HIV are heroes, and we need to support them in any way we can. It is essential for countries to have nurses, therapists, or other mental health professionals that people can access to discuss their fears and anxieties in a safe and confidential space. Mental health support is critical for people living with HIV or those who are worried about their HIV status. Having dedicated departments in general hospitals that are not linked with sexual health can make it easier for people to access support without the fear of being stigmatized or discriminated against. These departments can serve as general practitioners and provide a safe and confidential space for people to discuss their concerns and receive appropriate care. It is also important to encourage families to talk openly about HIV, and to reduce the fears and stigma associated with the virus. Education and awareness-raising campaigns can help break down the myths and misconceptions about HIV, and create a more supportive and understanding environment for people living with the virus. This can help people living with HIV feel more comfortable seeking medical care and support, which can lead to better health outcomes. So, if you are living with HIV or know someone who is, please know that you are not alone. There is help available, and with the right treatment and support, you can live a long and healthy life. Thank you for watching this video on the prevalence of AIDS in Europe compared to Africa. We hope you found it informative and useful. If you did, please press that button, and subscribe to our channel for more African-focused videos. Together, we can work towards eradicating the stigma around HIV and ensuring that everyone has access to the treatment and support they need. Thank you for watching. Until next time.